Okay, so great day to everyone. So this will be our last lesson for this semester, chapter 4, the global interstate system. Okay? So when we say global interstate, no, kung ako baga parang in our world, meron tayong sistema, no, na binibigay kumbaga parang proseso 'no ng globalisasyon, proseso kung paano tayo mag-e-export, mag-i-import 'no, yung pagfo-form ng gobyerno meron din tayong proseso niyan kung if we are a democratic country, 'di ba meron tayong election, meron tayong mga proseso diyan, meron tayong sistema. Even the ano 'no, um, yung pagkakaroon ng border 'no, yung pagkakaroon ng, treaty na lang sabihin natin 'no, meron yang mga proseso and aside from that 'no, interstate system gumagana siya in a way or gumagana siya in a way na kailangan 'no, ang isang bansa ay merong pagkakakilanlan na kung saan they need 'no, to have, their own identity 'no, and as well as the other country or other state 'no, needs to recognize those boundaries as well as those identity of other states. Okay? Now, yeah. Now, when we say state, no, it has not traditionally been the subject of most interested scholar of global politics. So it is viewed as the institution that creates warfare and set of economic policies for a country. Pag sinabi kasi nating state, no, um, ito 'no, yung tinitirhan natin, ito yung, meron tayong soberanya, meron tayong teritoryo na tinatawag kasi in this concept 'no, meron tayong apat 'no, na, kailangan these 4 are present 'no, sa isang lugar para matawag natin siyang state. First, of course, is people. No, hindi mo naman matatawag na state ang isang lugar kung wala naman talaga itong tao, 'di ba? And aside from that, it must have a territory. No, they have their own boundaries, they have their own territory. No, and aside from that, number three, the sovereignty. Okay. Now, itong soberanya no, ng isang estado or ng isang state is kinakailangan ay present ito no, sa isang lugar so that they have no, their own power. And sometimes no, that the sovereignty no, can be in the hands of their citizen or their people. Yan. And pwede rin naman that the sovereignty of a country or a state ay nasa kamay no ng monarchy, no? Or ng monarkiya, ito yung mga hari at reyna. No, katulad na lang sa Great Britain, no? The soberanya or the power of their state ay nandoon sa hari, no? Doon sa pinakamataas, no? Na tao sa state or sa country nila. Okay? So, next of course is sorry. Yan. So, next is the government of course. Yan. Matatawag nating state ang isang bansa or ang isang lugar no kapag meron itong gobyerno, okay? Or nakapag-form sila ng gobyerno, okay? Katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina that state or that government or ang state no ay may iba't ibang proseso, merong iba't ibang sistema kung saan no they have their own system on how to elect their own government. Okay? Meron kasi no sa monarkiya or if they are not a democratic country, since the soberanya or the sovereignty of their country or their state ay nasa monarkiya or ang hari at reyna ang anong tawag dito? Ang magluluklok no doon sa government nila and kapag naman ang soberanya ng bansa nila ay nasa mga tao, of course that is kumbaga democratic country, so therefore the election no will help no doon sa state nila or doon sa country nila para lang magkaroon sila or makapag-form sila ng mga government. Now, government is very important in state. Why? Because government is kumbaga, sila yung nagiging representative no ng people sa isang bansa, no? Especially if they have problems, no? Let's say international problems, okay? And katulad ng mga climate change, no? Ng mga human rights, yan, yung mga ganyan, no? Especially if they have kumbaga parang organization, they will become the face of the people, no, of their state or their country, na kung saan sila yung haharap, no, sa iba't ibang mga leaders, no, ng iba't ibang mga states or country, and doon nila ilalatag kung ano yung mga plataforma, ilalatag kung ano yung mga problema ng bansa nila, and then therefore, and then after that, of course, magbibigay, no, ng solution ang bawat bansa for that. Okay? So kumbaga, no, gobyerno or yung government is kumbaga, malaking impact, no, in our society. Okay? Kasi kung walang gobyerno, mahihirapan tayong, kumbaga, mahihirapan tayong magkaroon ng sistema, mahihirapan tayong magkaroon ng representante, no, ng mga representation sa iba't ibang organization. Okay? But of course, no, government is kumbaga very crucial, no, in a state or in a country. Kasi nga, 'di ba? Kapag ang gobyerno ng isang bansa ay corrupt, no, dito rin nagsisimulang lumubog, no, dito rin nagsisimulang magkakaroon, no, ng hindi pagkakaunawaan, dito rin magkakaroon ng mga alitan, no, ng mga corruptions, ng mga issues, ng mga crimes, yan. So, dyan ang magsisimula, no, yung mga problema sa isang country or ng isang country or ng isang state. Okay? Now, kaya nga 'di ba, lagi sinasabi na when you are electing, no, kapag bumoboto tayo, we need to vote wisely because government, no, they will be the one, no, will have to represent our country, to represent, no, our group, okay, sa iba't ibang aspeto, sa iba't ibang lugar, and at the same time, they need to protect us, okay? Kasi nga, no, state is a political unit. So, ibig sabihin, no, we are one unit na kapag nagkaroon no, ng problema ang gobyerno or isang sangay lang no, ng state, isang sangay lang ng gobyerno, magkakaroon tayo ng problema. Okay? So, yun. So the Treaty of Westphalia, no, established during the 1648, it's the notion of nation state and the idea of state sovereignty. Now, because of Treaty of Westphalia, no, by the way, this is kumbaga ang kasunduan no ng iba't ibang mga bansa sa Europe no na kung saan nagkaroon no ng tinatawag natin ngayong nation state na kung saan we are recognizing no the boundaries and the territory of one country or other countries. Okay, so yan, no? Sovereignty means the recognition of other countries that a country is an independent state. And therefore, since there is a recognition, they are free to external control or control from other countries. So yun, no? Because of the Treaty of Westphalia, actually this Treaty of Westphalia, no? Nangyari yan in the middle of a war in Europe, no? Yung 80 years no na gera sa Europe ay natapos because of the Treaty of Westphalia na kung saan they recognize the territory and the boundary of one of other country. Na kung saan sinasabi nila na under this treaty, no, kailangan nating respetuhin yung other country, kailangan nating respetuhin yung gobyerno nila, kailangan nating respetuhin kung ano yung border or yung territory na sinet nila. Okay? So yun, no? They are free from external control or control from other countries na kailangan, no? If kung meron kayong sariling bansa, of course, you have your own government, you have your own sovereignty, you have your own power. And hindi mo na dapat papakailaman pa or panghihimasukan pa yung ibang country. Okay? So yun lang naman, no, yung in-establish or yung in-emphasize kay Treaty of Westphalia, no? So kumbaga recognizing, no, the boundaries as well as the territory of each countries, okay? So, however, no, due to the presence of international actor, katulad ng mga MNCs, yan, ng mga global civil society organization, katulad ng Red Cross, yan, medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng problema sa boundaries, no, ng bawat bansa. Kasi nga, itong mga TNCs na ito, or yung mga MNCs na ito, the Global Civil Societies Organization, pumapasok ito sa bawat bansa. Although, no, they have this barrier, they have this territory and boundaries, but because of the freedom, no, nagkaroon ng kumbaga paunti-unting pagbaba no, ng mga boundaries ng mga bawat bansa, medyo nagkakaroon na tayo ng um, ano tawag dito, pagde-decrease 'no, ng power ng isang state. Na dapat 'no, as a state 'no, or as a one state, you have your own control. No, you have your control doon sa sarili mong bansa, okay. But because nga 'no, pasok ng pasok 'no, hindi masyadong nakokontrol itong mga MNCs na ito, itong mga societal organizations na ito na pumapasok sa mga, bawat bansa or sa iba't ibang bansa, medyo nagde-decrease, medyo nagle-lessen yung power nila or yung control nila over external factors or over external organizations. Okay? So next, we need to talk about no, the global governance. Okay? Pag sinabi kasi natin global governance, ito yung mga mapagitna. Okay? Sabihin na natin nagpo-protekta sa isang state or nagpo-protekta doon sa mga local actors natin. Okay? So global governance emerged due to the rise or series of specific factor. It refers to a political cooperation of international actors like regional and international organizations and states in order to negotiate problems that affect more than one state or country. Now, sa global governance kasi, hindi lang yan nanghihimasok or hindi lang yan gumagawa ng solusyon sa, let's say, problema in terms of economy, in terms of kapitalismo, okay? Kung saan nagkakaroon ng mga problema in terms of private sector and government sector, okay? Sa global governance, pumapasok yan or nangyayari yan kapag nagkakaroon na ng issue yung one country or yung isang bansa sa iba pang bansa. Okay? Let's say for example, itong declining power of nation state. Okay? So if states themselves were highly contingent and flux, no, or mabilis magbago, it would open the possibility of the emergence of some form of global governance to fill the void. Kasi nga naman, di ba, let's say in globalization na lang. In globalization, the flow no of information, the flow of things, people, no, the migration and immigration ay masyadong mabilis yan. Okay? Now, kapag ang isang bansa ay, alam niyo yun, hindi nila masyadong nakokontrol, no, yung flow of information, the flow of things, no, and kung ano-ano pa, nagkakaroon sila ng void or nagkakaroon sila ng mga gap no, doon sa state nila. And that's why the global governance no will address this issue, and then of course they will help no those countries who are in need of help in terms of gap no sa mga importation, sa mga exportation, yung mga hindi masyadong nakaka-adapt sa mga currency, sa global currency, yung mga nagkakaroon ng mga financial crisis, yan. Yung mga hindi nila masyadong na-exercise no yung authority nila because of the declining of power of their power no because of some external factors yan diyan pumapasok si global governance to provide no solution for that specific problem. Okay, so next, the vast flow of all sort of things that run into and often right through the borders of nation state. So yan nga no katulad ng sinasabi ko is the flow no ng mga things, ng mga people, especially no the digital information or internet. Okay? For example na lang yung sa may China, no, they have this what we call firewall na kung saan binablock nila yung mga international social media. No, in China kasi they don't have they don't have Facebook actually. No, they have their own social media platform na kung saan yung mga Chinese people yun yung ginagamit nila. Okay? Now, etong global governance na ito or this kind of social media platform or this kind of firewall, no, kumbaga binablock nila, no, yung mga digital information and internet na pwedeng ma-access ng mga citizens sila and nagkakaroon ito ng mga reklamo from inside, no, or internal and external. Okay? paano. Of course, the Chinese people, no, nagrereklamo din sila bakit hindi nila na-access yung mga international applications, yung mga internet connections from other country, hindi sila makanood or hindi sila maka-access sa ibang social media platforms at kung ano-ano pa. As well as other or mga external, no, na external group, no, of people na kung saan they are kumbaga protesting, no, sa China na bakit hindi sila pinapasok doon sa China kasi no, kapag nakapasok kasi sila sa China, that is, kumbaga malaking impact yon sa business nila as well as doon sa may applications nila. Okay? Now, the global governance, no, ito naman yung magme-mediate, no, kay China as well as doon sa mga group of peoples na nagkakaroon ng protest, no, laban kay China, and they will try, no, to find a solution kung saan si China, no, the government of China as well as the people, internal and external group, ay magkakaroon ng meeting ground, no, na kung saan ay magkakaroon sila ng ng kasunduan. Okay? So, yeah. So, another factor is the mass migration of people and entry, often illegally, into various nation states. So, ito na yung sinasabi ko din kanina, no? Na flows, no, of things as well as flows of people. Okay? Yung mga migration and immigration. Now, malaking factor kasi itong mga mass migration na ito. Kasi nga, no, sige, gawin na natin example si US or si America, no, na kung saan merong mga may nangyayari, no, na mass migration and government, no, in US don't uh, they want to control, no, the mass migration of madalas kasi diyan Mexican no, yung mga Latin, no, na country na nakapalibot kay America or kay US na konting lakad lang, konting travel lang, eh makakapasok na sila sa US, no? Yan yung ginagawa kasi ng ibang Mexican people, no, para makapasok sa US, no? Kaya nga si Trump, no, he want to build a barrier or wall para hindi na nga makapasok, no, itong mga illegal migrator or illegal migrants na ito doon sa US. So bakit? Okay, bakit nila pinipigilan pumasok itong mga tao na ito doon sa state nila or doon sa country nila? Okay? First kasi dyan is the decrease, no, of available job opportunity for their local citizens. Okay? So dahil nga mas marami pa yung mga tao from other country na okay lang sa kanila kahit anong trabaho, okay lang sa kanila kahit mababa yung sahod, mas napa-priority, mas nabibigyan ng opportunity itong mga illegal migrant, itong mga illegal immigrant when it comes to work. Okay? So therefore, no, yung mga job opportunity ng mga local citizens sila ay nababawasan na. Mas nahihirapan silang maghanap ng trabaho. And aside from that, of course, criminal element, katulad ng mga drugs, no, ng mga sex trafficking, ng mga money laundering, yan. So talamak yan, no, sa kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng mga mass migration and mass immigration. So therefore, no, the global governance will intervene, no? Papasok sila dito no, sa problemang ito. It is because no, they want to lessen, no, yung mga ganitong cases or yung mga ganitong problema, okay, sa isang bansa para din matulungan yung bansa na iyon na mas mapayabong pa, no, and mas mabigyan pa ng protection as well as ng opportunity yung mga local citizens nila. Okay? So next, we have involves in horrendous event within the nation states that state themselves either foment and carry out or unable to control. So actually, no, katulad na lang ng mga natural disaster, okay, yung mga war, okay, yan, katulad nga sa may Sudan, no, hundreds of thousands have been killed, millions of people displaced, and lives have been disrupted in a conflict that date back to early 2003. Okay? Now, sa global governance, hindi lang naman siya more on conflict, no? Yung mga hinahandle nilang mga problems in different countries. No? Kapag meron ding mga catastrophic event, yan. Si global governance ay nandyan din para tumulong sa isang bansa. Okay? Now, sinasabi din nila, no, that during Holocaust, alam naman natin, 'di ba, na Holocaust 'yan si Hitler in Germany, no, the Nazi, no, in Germany. Alam naman natin na maraming namatay diyan, maraming napag-eksperimentuhan, no, um, ng mga tao, no, na yun nga, no, na maraming namatay. And sinasabi nila na kung meron lang daw global governance during this time, no, si Holocaust, no, or etong si Hitler ay mapipigilan pa. Okay? But because no, global governance ay nabuo lang no, during the 21st century, eh, yun, wala tayong, kumbaga parang nagiging middleman kay Germany and other country to do this kind of act no, or incident. Okay? So next naman yung mga financial crisis. Okay? May mga bansa kasi, especially yung mga underdeveloped and undeveloped country, no, they have no, or they are experiencing financial crisis. Now, the global governance is kumbaga nagbibigay din sila no, ng solusyon, nagbibigay din sila ng mga um, tulong no, na pinansyal sa mga bansa no, na nangangailangan ng yun nga, tulong pinansyal. Okay? And of course, hindi lang naman yan pagbibigay. No? Hindi lang naman siya 100%. Hindi lang naman siya 100% donation, no? Meron din naman or meron din namang kumbaga pautang no sa mga different bank katulad na lang ng World Bank as well as ng mga IMF, yan. Okay? So next, the effect of globalization to government. So one of the key aspect of state sovereignty is the government. So katulad nga nung sinasabi ko kanina that government ay binubuo ng apat. First, of course, is the people, the territory, the government, and the sovereignty. Okay? So they have no the so-called self-determination. So other countries should not intervene in the affairs of the state unless they are or there are extraordinary reasons to do so. Katulad na lang ng mga tradings no ng mga exportation and importation as well as if they are member no, of different organization yan katulad ng mga World Trade Organization, ng ASEAN, ng NAFTA, yan. Okay? So next, there have been several challenges to the government and ultimately to state autonomy. So these challenges can be divided into four. First is the traditional, second is the national or identity, then global economics, and global social movement. So first, the first one is the traditional challenge. Meron tayong dalawang intervention, no? The external and the internal intervention. Pag sinabi kasi nating external intervention, kaya nga siya external kasi nga nanggaling sa labas. Okay? So ito yung mga intervention na um, nangyayari because of other country. Okay? Let's say for example na lang, ang nangyayari sa Russia and Ukraine, no? Sa Ukraine, of course, alam naman natin no, na nananahimik lang yan, di ba? Then bigla silang binomba ng Russia because of their conflict. Okay? Now, this is an example of external intervention kasi nga naman, no, yung gulo ay nagsimula because of other country, which is yung Russia nga. Okay, so that is external intervention. Okay, now when we say internal political challenges naman, it can also happen, no, doon naman, or it can also happen, no? Nangyayari si internal political challenges sa loob naman mismo ng bansa natin, no? Walang, kumbaga walang external intervention dito, walang external factor dito, kung hindi lahat ng mga nangyayari or sabihin na lang natin the conflict as well as the um, ano tawag dito, the problem no ay nangyayari sa because of internal political challenges, no? And one of the example here is the kay Marcos yun, no? So this Marcos martial law yun. Oh. So that's ano, no, that is an example of internal political challenge because wala naman siyang kumbaga external factor, no? kundi si Marcos lang talaga, no, ang puwede nating sabihin 'no, na nagpahirap talaga 'no, sa ating mga kababayan during their time and nagkaroon din ng mga kaliwa't kanang gulo sa Pilipinas because of him 'no. So, we can consider that as internal political challenges, okay? Now, when it comes to challenges from national identity movement, yan. So, nation, no, has a cultural identity that people attach to. However, no, different people with different identities can live in different state. Okay? So for example na lang, no, it's yung Scotland, no, they want to have their own identity. They want to have their own identity as well as their border and territory. Okay? Now, Scotland kasi, no, before they are part of Great Britain, okay? But because of some anong tawag dito, some treaty, okay, Scotland, no, is hindi siya basta-basta, no, hindi siya basta-basta pwedeng umalis or magkaroon ng sariling border, no, aside kay Great Britain. But in 2014, no, nagkaroon ng voting system, no, kay Scotland na kung saan si Great Britain ay nag-no kay Scotland na humiwalay sa kanila. But today, no, Scotland, they already have their own territory, they already have their own identity as well as their own borders. Okay? Ayan. So, aside from that, no, yung mga terrorists, no, katulad ng Al-Qaeda and ISIS are another example of national or identity movement. Kasi some terrorist group, no, ang pinaglalaban lang kasi nila is their own religion, no, their own identity. Pinaglalaban lang nila na they don't want, no, to have anong tawag dito? They don't like to have basta yun. Yun, basta yun ang pinaglalaban nila, yung identity nila. Kaya nagkakaroon din ng kumbaga parang ang nilalaban din kasi ng Al-Qaeda and ng ISIS, ayaw nila ng pinapakailaman sila ng gobyerno. Okay? And kaya din nagkakaroon sila or nagiging violent din sila. It's because, no, etong gobyerno kasi natin, no, ay patuloy silang ginagambala na they just want na to have their own identity, they just want to have their own religion, no, yung mga belief and practices nila, gusto nila ay ma-preserve nila yon. But because of the government, no, na they keep, no, bothering this group of people, yun, nagkakaroon tayo ng gulo. Okay? So, yeah. So, next we have global economics. Demand the state to conform the rules of free market capitalism. Now, in global economics kasi, nagkakaroon kasi ng challenges yung mga bansa na yan kapag nagkakaroon ng mga yung mga nagkakaroon ng mga disadvantages, no, yung other countries. Okay? Now, para maiwasan natin yung mga pagtitake advantage ng mga bansa na ito, no, the global economics, no, created this different group na kung saan katulad nitong World Trade Organization na kung saan they are monitoring, no, the tariff, the quota of different countries na kung saan yung pinaka main objective ng WTO is to reduce, no, the tariff and trade and to have, no, a smooth flow of things as well as the exportation and importation. Okay? And as well as yung mga regional agreement like ASEAN, no? Kung saan nagkakaroon ng mga free trade agreement yung mga bawat bansa sa Asia, as well as the NAFTA, no? The free trade agreement between 3 countries katulad ni Mexico, US, and Canada. Okay? So neoliberals, economics or capitalism started in 1980s, which focused on free trade and removing barriers. Now, in neoliberalism kasi or in capitalism, 'di ba? Lagi nating ini-emphasize dito yung mga private sectors na kung saan they are reducing, no? Or kumbaga wala talagang government intervention dito sa mga bansa na merong capitalism. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, when it comes to SRP or suggested retail price, no, itong mga private sector, yung mga private company ang nagde-decide nito, no? So, kung taasan man nila, kung babaan man nila, no government intervention. Okay? But, no, because of this kasi, neoliberalism and capitalism, nagkakaroon din ito ng problema because the government no cannot kumbaga defend no or they cannot protect no their local market no as well as the international market yan. Kumbaga nagkakaroon tayo ng mga or kumbaga diminish or nawawala yung power ng gobyerno when it comes to market no ng sarili nilang bansa. Okay? Which is dapat hindi. Okay? So next we have the global social movement or the social movements are movement of people that are spontaneous or that emerge through enormous grassroots organization. Now, this transnational movement, which means they occur across country and across border, therefore, they have less control over this transnational movement. Now, ito kasi mga social movements na ito, these are the group of people na kung saan they are spreading no, their own belief, their own practices, their advocacies, at kung ano-ano pa. Okay? Now, when it comes to social movement kasi, dahil nga they are private, no? Private group of people, no? That they have their own advocacies, no? Medyo nagkakaroon or less talaga yung control ng state or ng government sa kanila. That's why, no, that's why yung flow ng social movement na ito or yung mga transnational movements na ito ay masyadong mabilis, no? Or they can easily penetrate other country. Okay? So next, no, the state is a distinctive political community with its own set of rules and practices. So ito, yung sinasabi ko kanina that they have, no, or the state have four element, katulad ng people, territory, government, and sovereignty. Kapag nagkulang man, no, ng isa dito, let's say for example, no, walang soberanya, walang gobyerno, okay, we cannot call that area or that place, no, as a state, okay? So permanent population of people refers to the people living no, within the borders of each state. So ayan, no? Na-discuss naman na natin yan kanina. Okay? So yeah, no? So let's talk about the difference between nation and state. Now, kapag sinabi nating nation, no, we're talking about the people. Okay? So nation refers to a people rather than any kind of formal territory boundaries or institution. Okay? So kapag sinabi nating nation, it is a collective identity no, grounded on the notion of shared history and culture. Ganon. No? Now, on the other hand, okay, si state naman, it refers to the government and the territory as well as the internal and external sovereignty. So the difference between the two is that nation, no, we're talking about people, we're talking about collective identity, culture, and history. No, when we say state naman, we're talking about the government, no, the politics, the territory, and the boundary as well as the sovereignty. Okay? So yun, no? State is more of a political concept since there should be formalized institution and boundaries while nation naman is a cultural concept. Okay? So, pwede kasi na magkaroon tayo ng one nation, no? And they are living in two states or two different states. Katulad na lang ng North Korea and South Korea. No? As we all know naman that North Korea and South Korea, they have their own territory, they have their own boundary as well as the government, as well as the sovereignty, di ba? But, kung titingnan natin, no, yung people sa North Korea and South Korea, they are all Koreans naman. No? So, one nation living in two states. Yan. Okay? So the concept of nation state, which was established by the Treaty of Westphalia, o again, no, Treaty of Westphalia, ito yung kasunduan no ng iba't ibang bansa no para matapos no or pagkatapos ng 80 years na war no sa Europe to emphasize no the respect of the territories no ng mga bansa Okay? So dito natin nabuo or dito nabuo si nation state, no? So nation state on the other hand refers to the territorial bounded sovereign institution that governs individuals sharing a collective history, identity and culture. So this is no kumbaga this is a combination na ng mga history, no, ng politics at yeah, no? So the following argument simply means that the role of this nation state is still present in the face of globalization. First, no nation state continue to be the major players on the global stage. That is because no that nation state is kumbaga rich no in history. They are rich in product no that they can that they can produce and then export. No, yan. Kaya when it comes to global stage, when it comes to economic activities, yan, napaka-active nila. Okay? And retain at least some power in the face of globalization. Okay? And they vary greatly in efficacy in the face of globalization. Yeah. So the role of state is enduring and even increasing in advanced industrial society. So this means that there is a greater demand being placed on the state because of the four major sources of collective insecurity. Now, in terms of state no, or let's say globalization, no, nagkakaroon nga daw ng tinatawag na collective insecurity yung mga state because of the flow no, of people, the flow of things katulad ng economic globalization leading to problems such as outsourcing and economic crisis, financial crisis, yan, terrorism, national identity due to immigration, nagkakaroon ng deterritorialization, and as well as yung mga global diseases. Okay? So yun, no, yung mga AIDS, yung mga chlamydia, di ba? Way back, no? Nung nagsisimula pa lang, no? Or in one point in globalization, nagkaroon ng spread ng chlamydia from America, no, ay napunta kay Europe or yung mga European country. And that is a form, no, or that is a part of globalization. And the relevance, no, of this, the relevance of the state, no, in this globalization is, of course, no, to accept as well as to find solution, to collaborate, no, to connect, no, from one country to another. Okay, to solve this collective insecurities or problems. Okay. So state does not only respond in solving these four sources of insecurity, but also may exaggerate or create dangers, no? Making its citizens more insecure. So, may mga times kasi na yung mga gobyerno natin, pwede natin sabihing OA, di ba? Yung ina-exaggerate nila, yung mga nangyayari sa mga buhay-buhay natin, no? Sa state natin, sa gobyerno natin, na kung saan, imbes na makatulong sila, or ma-prevent nila, mapahupa nila yung situation, yung issues, no? Mas napapalala na nila. Okay? So yun, no? Kailangan, no, when it comes to government, if you're going to address some issues, we need to be calm. No? Kailangan hindi tayo maging exaggerated kasi it can lead, no, to a bigger problem as well as a big impact, no? Negative man or positive doon sa mga citizens natin. Okay? So there are several international organizations which promotes the social and economic growth and includes UN, International Court of Justice or ICJ, NAFTA, and NATO, which is i-discuss natin sa part 2 ng discussion. Okay, so this will be our continuation, no, of our lesson. So, yan, katulad nga ng sinabi ko, no, there are several international organizations na nagpo-promote ng social economic growth ng bawat bansa. No? So, nandito si United Nations, si ICJ or the International Court of Justice, NAFTA, and NATO. Now, si United Nations, no, katulad ng diniscuss natin before, no, during the prelim, term, this is an international organization na kung saan no many or different countries ang miyembro nito, and etong United Nations na ito, they are kumbaga promoting no aside sa social growth and economic growth, nandito din yung promotion no, and and also their advocacy to human rights. Okay, so the premise of its establishment was reconstructing the world no, after the World War II. So the term United Nations was coined by the U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt during 1942. So organization began on October 1945 with 50 representative countries. Now, this United Nations, no, ay actually no, marami na siyang naitulong, marami na siyang nagawa para sa iba't ibang bansa, and especially no in the continent of Africa, na kung saan marami na silang na-donate, marami na silang naitulong, marami na silang naipamahagi no na mga let's say foods no, tulong when it comes to agriculture, tulong when it comes to their economy, the trading businesses in different countries. So, yeah, the exportation as well as the importation. Yeah. Okay. Now, si UN or si United Nation, meron siyang apat na function. First is the military function or issues, the economic, and then the environmental and human protection. Now, in military, no, close to 200 countries from around the world, the UN, with its headquarters in New York, was designed to be a place where countries could come to discuss their issue without resorting to violence and war. Now, sa United Nations din ang nagmo-monitor sa iba't ibang bansa, especially within their jurisdiction, no? The jurisdiction when it comes to their members, okay? Tinitingnan nila dito kung yung miyembro ba nila ay nasasangkot no sa mga violence and war, at sila mismo no as an organization ang nagkakastigo doon sa mga bansa na nakakagawa ng mga, or let's say no, nagsisimula ng mga gulo, nagpo-promote ng violence and whatsoever. Okay? So later i-discuss natin yung regarding dyan, no? So the General Assembly is the gathering of all this country. Now in this General Assembly, no, it is held no in an auditorium where speeches are given, and then yung mga representatives, okay, ng bawat bansa ay nandoon. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba, sinabi natin during the discussion no, sa state, that government is the representative of people or their citizens dito sa mga ganitong assembly or sa mga general assembly na nakatulad nito. Okay? Na kung saan, in this General Assembly, when it comes to violence, when it comes to war, economic problem, financial crisis, climate crisis, and whatsoever, okay? Nandito yung mga representatives natin or part of the government to address the issue, address the problem of their country. And after that, of course, different members or different countries of United Nations will suggest solutions sa mga problems na yun, and then therefore, and then after that, of course, the country with that problem will apply no those solution, and if it's work, then then good for them, no, but if it's not, then they already they will set no, another general assembly, or the next assembly they will discuss the problem no, or the same problem again, no, and find solution again for that specific problem. Okay, now aside from General Assembly, no, UN is meron din tayong tinatawag na Security Council. So this council is in charge of maintaining the international peace and security. Now dito sa may Security Council, no, when two or more countries are waging war or on the verge of fighting, sila yung kumbaga nagme-mediate doon sa dalawang bansa or two or more countries na iyon, so that we can prevent no further destructions no, and as well as yung mga casualties sa kanilang mga bansa. Now, there are 5 permanent member of this council. Meron tayong US, no, Britain, Russia, China, and France. Now, these 5 permanent members and 10 additional countries join them no, for 2 years term, making a total of 15 countries. No. Sila yung mga bansa, kung mapapansin nyo, no, US, Britain, Russia, China, and France, they are, kumbaga, powerful. no, when it comes to their military forces, okay? Um, Sila yung ginawang permanent Security Council of United Nations kasi nga sila yung may pinakamalakas and sila yung may malalaking budget when it comes to their military forces. Kaya alam na alam at kayang-kaya ng mga limang bansa na ito na protektahan yung mga bansa na masasangkot sa war or kayang-kaya nilang mag-mediate doon sa mga war between countries. Okay? But of course, no, hindi naman kasi porket under ka no ng Security Council ng UN hindi ka na anong tawag dito? Kumbaga parang hindi ka na maaabsuelto or maaabsuelto ka na kapag ikaw na mismo yung nasangkot sa war. Okay? Now, Security Council is the arbiter and ceasefire between two sides. Now, paano naman kung ikaw ang nagsimula ng war? Okay, let's say for example na lang, no, si Russia. 'Di ba? Si Russia ang nag-provoke kay Ukraine, no? And Russia, no, is one of the country na uh, kumbaga nag-start, no, nagpabomba, no, nagpalipad ng mga rocket missiles kay Ukraine. That's why nga, no, nagkaroon ng maraming casualties kay Ukraine because of the issue of Ukraine joining NATO, no. Well actually hindi lang naman yan yung issue, but of course there are so many reasons why Russia bombed Ukraine, no. Pero yung recent is the Ukraine, no, wanted to join NATO but Russia don't want Ukraine to join NATO. Okay? Now, ano ang ginawa ni United Nations or ni Security Council ng United Nations kay Russia? Okay? So of course, nag-impose sila ng punishment and restriction kay Russia na kung saan no si Russia is one of the largest exporter ng petrolyo. Okay? Kaya nga itong si Russia, hindi ngayon siya makapag-export ng mga petrolyo sa iba't ibang bansa. And that's part no of their punishment na naapektuhan hindi lang si Russia but of course yung mga other countries na nakadepende no sa petrolyo kay Russia. Okay? So yun, no? When it comes to human protection naman, sa United Nations, nandiyan si UNICEF, no, or United Nations for Children's Emergency Fund. So dito naman tumutulong sila sa mga kabataan, no, especially in Africa na kung saan yung mga kabataan nila doon ay medyo, or hindi medyo, no, na nangangailangan talaga ng kalinga, nangangailangan talaga ng tulong when it comes to healthy foods, no, nutritious foods, para mas ma-boost no, yung mga health nila. Kasi in Russia, there are so many children, no, na medyo malaki yung percentage nila na malnourished, no, or maraming mga sakit. And UNICEF is there, you know, to help countries in Africa. Okay? Then we have the SDG or the Sustainable Development Goals. Alam niyo naman na yan that we have 15 Sustainable Development Goals. It was started during 2015 and it will end in 2030. Now, in SDG or Sustainable Development Goals, ang main focus or ang gusto talaga na mapatunayan or matapos dito or ma-achieve no, ni United Nations dito is that mabawasan, no, or reduce or eradicate poverty, no, the hunger, no, ay mabawasan natin sa mundo, okay, and as well as the gender equality, the sustainable cities, as well as the climate action or the climate change, the life below water. Yan. So, kumbaga, no, kay Sustainable Development Goals, we need to sustain, no, our resources so that our future generation, no, will not, no, kumbaga parang hindi na sila um, hindi na sila mahirapan, no? Yan. Kasi, di ba, if we cannot take care no, of our resources, okay, or natural resources, yung mga future generations natin, yan ang kumbaga mahihirapan. Kasi, di ba, yung mga natural resources natin na yan, no, ay pwede nating mapagkunan or yan talagang pinagkukunan natin ng mga pangunahing produkto natin or let's say ingredients or materials in our products, okay, or even our foods, okay. So kung of course course, maubos yan or hindi natin mapangalagaan, kawawa naman yung mga future generations natin. Kasi mahihirapan sila kung paano sila makakasurvive, no, using our natural resources. Okay? So next, when it comes to environment, no, nandiyan naman si UNEP or si United Nations Environment Program. They are addressing pollution and hazardous waste. So ito naman yung mga waste material ng mga pabrika or ng mga machines, no, nag-emit ng mga carbons. Yan. And then we also have UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change or the IPCC. They are focused naman to mitigate the climate change, no? As well as kumbaga they are assessing, no, the climate science facilitation and climate agreements as well as giving assistance to countries to reduce carbon emission. Okay? Now, this IPCC is kumbaga halos same lang to no kay UNEP, but they're more focused on the overall no climate action in our world. Okay, no, kung saan they want to reduce no the climate problem by eradicating, by reducing no the carbon emission, the toxic waste no na nakakasira ng atmosphere natin. Okay. Then we also have the International Criminal Court of Justice and the ICC or the International Criminal Court. Halos same lang sila. No? They are a world court. No, it is located in Netherlands. Okay, and this is where country can settle disputes in a court of law na kung saan yung mga higher rank or yung mga government katulad ng mga presidente, okay, ng mga let's say yung mga higher officials na nakakapag-commit ng mga yeah, terrible things to their people, no? Yung mga katulad na lang ni Marcos, okay? The martial law, okay? As well as the Duterte administration na kung saan siya ay iniimbestigahan ngayon ng International Criminal Court, okay? So, well, knowing Duterte, no, sinasabi niya naman na hindi naman siya natatakot. But of course, no, this is one of the job of RICC na kung saan they need to make sure that the human rights in different countries ay na-exercise ng tama. Okay? Now, kapag nagkaroon ng problema sa human rights, no, yeah, no, just sila papasok. Okay? And then, of course, the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea or the ITLOS concerning about disputes in the territorial sea. Ito naman yung mga kapag mayroong mga problema no sa territorial no pagdating sa mga tubig dagat no katulad na lang ng dispute no between Philippines and China kung saan ay pinag-aagawan nila ang South China Sea. Okay? So si ITLOS or the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, pwede siyang pumasok dito and mag-mediate no, sa dalawang bansa. Okay? So, protects no, our human rights through different organizations. So, meron tayong Universal Declaration of Human Rights or Office no, of the UN Higher Commission or High Commissioner for Human Rights or the OHCCHR, Human Rights Council, Human Rights Treaty Bodies, the UN Development Groups, Human Rights Mainstreaming Mechanism or the UNDGHRM, and the Special Advisors on the prevention of genocide and the responsibility to protect. So this different organization under United Nations promotes no and protect human rights, especially this prevention no, of genocide and responsibility to protect. Kumbaga, sila yung isa no sa organization ng UN na kung saan they mitigate no, or they are preventing no the different war no the different kumbaga parang may tamang word doon eh. Kumbaga they are preventing situations wherein nako-compromise yung human rights no ng mga citizens sa isang bansa. Okay? Yeah. So next, no, UN is being criticized as being weak and unable to stop war. Okay? Kasi nga, sinabi nga nila, no, napakatagal na nitong UN na to eh. Pero, di ba, when it comes to war, wala naman silang nagagawa eh. Or hindi nila nakokontrol yung mga bansa nila na alam niyo, ma-involve sa mga war, especially Russia, 'di ba? Yan. That's why nandyan ngayon si NATO or si North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo that Ukraine no, wanted to join. Okay? So, NATO no, continues to play a big role in foreign conflicts. It is a defense treaty or a military alliance na kung saan ang mga miyembro nito, kapag ikaw ay, kumbaga, na involved no, sa isang war or sa isang conflict with other country, yan. Dito ka ngayon papasok or dito ngayon papasok yung other country or yung other countries na miyembro ng NATO para protektahan ka, para back-upan ka. Okay? Which is ayaw mangyari ni Russia kay Ukraine. Kasi nga sinasabi or ini-emphasize ni Russia that US as a part of NATO will kumaga parang um, i-overpower niya si Ukraine and gagawin niyang tamang word, no? Parang magiging yung sunod-sunuran, no? You know, the authority, no? The sovereignty, okay? 'Di ba? Yan, no? Kaya ayaw ni Russia na mapasok si Ukraine kay NATO. Okay? But of course, Ukraine want some help no from other country kasi nga nabubuli na talaga sila ni Russia and Ukraine don't have enough power to fight back Russia. That's why they are sick, no? They are seeking for help no to other countries, especially ito nga yung mga organizations na ito, kaya mas gusto nila na sumali sa mga organizations na ganito to protect them no, or to help them when it comes to fighting Russia. Okay? So we have the NGOs or the non-governmental organization katulad ng Red Cross or Red Crescent sa mga Muslim countries. So NGO, they are not tied to any countries or government. Okay? So ito yung mga private or independent organization na pwedeng pumunta kahit saan and pwedeng tumulong kahit saan as well as makipag-collaboration kahit saang bansa without boundaries. Kasi nga, no, they don't have no or they have few restrictions to other country. Kaya ang Red Cross ay kalat yan sa iba't ibang mga bansa because they are non-governmental organization or walang nagre-restrict sa kanila na body of government. Okay? So, example or another example of NGOs is the Doctors Without Borders. So, yan, yung mga doktor na pumupunta sa mga bulubundukin, okay, to provide healthcare. Yan. Then we have WTO or the World Trade Organization. So the WTO, no, they want or this organization wanted to have a free trade agreement or kumbaga mas smooth ang flow ng tradings or exportation and importation of products in different countries wherein they are promoting to reduce no or to eradicate no the trade barriers as well as quota from different countries so that the flow of things or the globalization no will smoothly no kumbaga flow no to one country to another. Okay? And then, of course, we all know naman that NAFTA or the North American Free Trade Agreement, this is a free trade agreement between US, Canada, and Mexico na kung saan they don't have no tariff, they don't have quota no sa mga produktong pumapasok at lumalabas sa bawat bansa ng sa tatlong bansa na ito. Okay? So now let's talk about globalism. Pag sinabi, by the way, globalism and globalization is different, ha? Pag sinabi natin globalism, this is the connection. Ito yung kumbaga parang tali na nagko-connecta sa iba't ibang mga bansa. Okay? So therefore refers to the link among countries, no, and people while the speed which they become linked with one another is globalization. Okay? So si globalism siya yung tali and si globalization siya naman ang nagde-determine kung ang tali na ito ay kakapal ba or ninipis because of the speed of the trading, gaano ba ka dalas yung um, connection ng one country to another? Gaano ba kadalas yung tradings nila? Masyado bang mabilis? Masyado bang mabagal? Kapag masyadong mabilis at constant or continuous yung tradings, yung communication, connection, of course, the globalism or the link is thicker, mas makapal. Okay? Mas makapal yung ties, mas makapal yung relationship. But if the globalization is weaker or slower, of course, the globalism or the link is thinner. No? Na anytime ay pwede itong mapigtas or pwedeng mawalan ng connection yung dalawang bansa sa isa't isa when it comes to trading. Okay? So next, societies in the world have always been connected. So even before the Industrial Revolution, the world has already connected. Yan, katulad nga nung sinasabi natin, no, na even before, no, na meron tayong mga wars, meron tayong conflict, hanggang sa nagkaroon ng mga Industrial Revolution, na ang kung ano-ano pang mga nagsulputan, no, sa iba't ibang mga bansa, no, kung saan yung ibang bansa ay umunlad and yung iba ay nahihirapan ding umunlad, still, no, globalization is there and the globalism still there. Okay? So, yun, no? And in terms of thickness, ang globalism ay thin. No? So medyo manipis, okay? Kasi nga naman, di ba, let's say for example, we are just connecting, no? Kung baka kakaumpisa pa lang ng ties natin. So therefore, the globalism or the connection between the two countries ay medyo manipis pa. Unlike kapag ang globalization ay nangyayari na in a long period of time, mas makapal, di ba? Let's say for example, the connection or the globalism between Spanish country and the Philippines ay makapal na yan because Spanish or Spaniards no colonized Philippines for 333 years. 'Di ba? So makapal na marami ng connection, marami ng mga tradition and belief na nabigay sa atin na na-adapt natin from Spaniards. Okay? So provided for distinct dimension of globalism, we have the economic, military, environmental, and social. Military, no, of course, katulad niyan yung war, no? Yung mga colonization, okay? Because of the colonization, because of war, nagkakaroon ng mas thicker no na connection yung dalawang country wherein nagkakaroon sila ng communication, nagpapalitan sila ng mga let's say nagpapalitan sila ng mga yun, ng mga communications. Okay? And aside from that, of course, syempre, yung mga people din nila ay nagkakaroon din ng mga interactions and whatsoever. Okay? And then environmental globalism, of course, the global warming, since nag-escalate no or nag-accelerate yung global warming natin, so of course different countries ay nagtutulungan yan, mas nagtitiker yung globalism because they are trying to fight no global warming as a whole world or as a kumbaga nag-unite no yung different countries. Okay? Then social and cultural dimension on the other hand, so dito nga yung pagkakaroon ng connection from one country to another, the let's say for example, the internet, no, the passing, the sending and receiving information, foreign information such as news, mga current events, mga trends, no, videos, pictures, articles, no, and as well as practices, belief and culture. So next, no, the growth of information by the people. Okay, so ito yung tinatawag nating informationalism. Okay? Sorry. So ito yung tinatawag natin, yan, informationalism. So this is the technological paradigm no, associated with computer science and modern telecommunication. Replaces industrialism. So dito, mas bumibilis na yung pag-share natin ng mga information through social media, information through different types, no, or different kinds of media. Okay? So, an example no, is the emergence of new media age wherein ito nga, the television, radio, newspaper is shaping no, individual subjectivity and culture not only locally but globally. Kaya nga no, in media spectacle no, by Guy Debord, sinasabi niya dito na because of the sophistication and ubiquity no, of a spectacular visual in television, mas nagiging entertainment na yung mga TV news, no, mas nagkakaroon na ng engagement yung mga tao no to watch more medias, no, televisions, no, mas makinig ng radio and mas galingan no ng mga providers natin no sa pagpo-provide ng mga real no ng mga information, okay, through social media, television, radio and newspaper. Okay? So next no not all countries ay ayun nga no may swerte when it comes to informationalism because in China for example no they have this what we call Great Firewall na kung saan yung pagpasok ng mga other information or even applications or social media ay hinaharangan ng Chinese government because they don't want or they are restricting globalization. Okay? Kaya nga, no, 'di ba? The external people and external group of people and internal group of people, they are condemned, they are kumbaga parang protesting no to Chinese government to reduce or alisin na si Great Firewall because kumbaga parang they want to experience no kung ano yung na-experience ng ibang mga tao sa ibang bansa na walang Great Firewall or they have an access to international or foreign social media. Okay? So yan. Okay. Now, citizenship is associated with rights and obligation. Now, in global citizenship kasi, no, ni Cecilia Johanna Van Veske, sinasabi niya dito that moral and ethical disposition can be guide the understanding of individuals or group of a local and global context and remind them of their relative responsibilities within a various community. So, ina-emphasize lang naman natin dito or ina-emphasize ni Johanna dito yung responsibility natin doon sa community natin. Let's say, for example, no, our obligation no, to pay taxes as well as the right no, to vote, our sovereignty, our power, no, link the individual to the state. Na kumbaga, if you have this responsibility, if you have this obligation, and you have the right, no, kumbaga, you feel like you are part no, of the state. Now, if you don't have the right, if you don't have the sovereignty or the power, or even the obligation to your community, you're just like disconnected no, to the state. You're just disconnected to your community and society. Okay? And aside from that, of course, they are also or she's also emphasizing na kapag ang tao ay nag-travel from one place to another, the responsibility as well as the obligation no doon sa country na yun ay hindi nawawala. Okay? Well, let's say for example, no, you have the obligation kapag nag-travel ka sa isang bansa, you have the obligation no to kumbaga to know no to know the culture, to know the belief so that you cannot disrespect okay the culture of that country. Okay, so yun yung sinasabi no, sa global citizenship. Kaya nga siya tinawag din na global citizenship kasi nga you are ano you are expressing no you are showing no your responsibility as well as your obligation as a people of this world. Okay? So yun. No? And globalization is not a single phenomenon as there are many globalizations, while some need to be resisted. So others are welcome and should be encouraged. Globalization seems to be failed in delivering its promise of equality as there are bottom billions. Now, In globalization kasi, katulad ng sinasabi ko before, no, may mga bansa na yes, they can easily adapt to globalization and they are a powerful country, they are developed countries, but what about those countries na tinatawag nating bottom billions or yung mga poor countries or people? Okay? Ito yung mga countries na they are trying no, to be a developed country or to become a developed country, but they cannot. No, they don't have the capability to do that. Okay? So they are struggling. Okay? That is why globalization is kumbaga, there's so many phases no in globalization na kung saan there are some countries na hindi talaga sila nakaka-adapt. And because of that, nagkakaroon ng equality, nagkakaroon ng unequal distribution of wealth, unequal distribution of power, as well as ng mga tradings. Okay? Kaya ngayon, na-exclude itong mga bottom billions na tinatawag natin. Okay? So, there are no three approaches of global economic resistance. Okay? So, there are some, yun nga, no, global economic resistance katulad ng trade protectionism. Pag sinabi kasi natin global economic resistance, ito yung they are kumbaga this is a kind of globalization na kung saan they are penetrating other country, no, which is good, no, somehow, but meron ding mga negative point itong global economic na ito or globalization kasi nga no pwedeng mawala yung mga local industry or mahirapan yung mga local industry sa bansa nila because of the international products. Okay, so kaya nga nagkakaroon tayo ng trade protectionism na kung saan they don't priority no yung mga foreign trade yung mga foreign products na yan. That's why they are imposing tariffs, um they are imposing quotas no na kung saan they are just limiting the number of they are limiting the number of products na pwedeng pumasok no, or i-import doon sa bansa nila so that the local product will have a much larger space doon sa market nila. Okay? As well as the tariff, no? Kumbaga yung mga foreign products or yung mga international products na yan ay mas mahal compare sa local product. Which is yan, yung dinidiscuss natin before, no? The tariff, no? The international market na pumapasok sa ibang bansa. Okay, katulad dito sa Pilipinas, no, we have, let's say, the Ferrero Rocher na kung saan yung, I think, 5 pieces na sa 100 plus, no? But compare mo sa local product, like local chocolate yung Lala, no, na yung isang pack is, I think, 11, 12 pesos lang, no? So, see the difference, no? So, if you're a consumer, a Filipino consumer, no, in a on a market, 'di ba? Of course, you're going to choose the local product because ito yung mas mura. Okay? So that is why no the imposing of trade protectionism, okay, is nandiyan to protect the local businesses and local products. Okay? Aside from that, of course, the emerge of a counter to neoliberal or yung free trade agreement principle or yung free trade principles natin. So yung fair trade na tinatawag. Okay? It aims no at a moral and more equitable global economic system na kung saan they need to negotiate. Okay? Hindi sila po pwedeng pumasok sa isang bansa without negotiation. Na dapat ito yung profit namin. Na dapat ito yung profit nyo. Okay? Kailangan may ganon. Kasi you need to be, you need to be equal. You need to be fair. No? Doon sa may local business as well as a business mo. If you are a foreign trader or if you are a foreign market trying to penetrate doon sa bansa na yon, you need to be, you need to be fair. No, doon sa mga local businesses natin or sa mga local businesses nila na hindi mo sila i-invade, hindi mo sila iti-take advantage. Okay? So, yun. So next, helping no the bottom billion, increasing aid for the poor is only one of the many measures no that are required. The reduction of trade barriers would reduce the economic marginalization, katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina na kung tatanggalin din natin no kung tatanggalin natin no, yung trade barrier, yes, pwede siyang maging risk no, sa mga local businesses natin. But when it comes to helping bottom billion, we need to open no our market so that the products, no, so that the help no from other markets, from other businesses and products, okay, as well as the trading, no, will kumbaga will contribute no to the country's or yeah to the country's economy or economic activity. Kasi 'di ba, once na nagkaroon or mas naging active yung economic activity ng isang bansa, that is the time that the country will move forward. Okay, kung one step at a time, your economy or your one step at a time, you will feel not the economic growth because of the economic activity when foreign market no enters no, or penetrate your country. Okay, but of course you still need to protect your local businesses um so that your local citizens no will still have no will still have their own space no doon sa may local market nyo. Okay. So when it comes to dealing with political globalization, increased accountability and transparency, kasi nga meron tayo dapat tinatawag na ocean of opacity. Pag sinabi kasi natin ocean of opacity, it is a clear, no? Clear ocean water na kung saan dapat daw the government itself is no, transparent. We need to be clear as a government official, as a government or political system in a country. You need to be clear with your solution, with your motive. Okay, especially if we are talking about business, if we are talking about money, if we are talking about if we're talking about the wealth, no, if we're talking about let's say opportunities, no, so we need to be clear, no, so that we can we know, no, as a citizen of a country, alam natin kung sino yung magiging accountable kapag nagkaroon ng problema sa isang bansa, which is of course the government. Okay, so yeah, no. So next, no, resistance to globalization has the potential to emerge as a new public sphere which may uphold progressive values such as autonomy, democracy, no, peace, ecological sustainability, and social justice. So therefore, or these forces or resistance are themselves product of globalization and can be seen as a globalization from below, which refers to the movement or resistance coming from individuals, group, and organization which are oppressed. Okay? Then pag sinabi naman natin globalization from above, ito naman yung mga um Tay- very simple. Now, globalization from above, they are the developed countries, powerful country. They are not deprived of power. They are not deprived of manpower, opportunities, no, the tradings, the economic activity. They are not deprived. But when we say globalization from below, there are countries, no, na mahirap, no, or developed and developed, underdeveloped or undeveloped countries wherein they are struggling, they are deprived no of a chance or opportunity to ladderize or to become a developed country because they don't have enough resources. And if they have resources, this globalization from above will take advantage, no, this globalization from below, by getting the natural resources and selling it no in a much higher price. So yun, so very ano talaga, very nakakaawa no yung mga countries or yung mga globalization from below because you know, hindi sila makalabas or hindi sila makaangat na dapat ay hindi sila makaangat doon sa situations nila because of the powerful countries depriving them. Okay? So, yon. And that's the end of our final term. Okay? So, just wait for the quizzes no, that will be posted soon sa iLearn.